In Anglesey AONB, the Wales Coast Path Gateway site at Breakwater Country Park received funding to design, create and install a new adventure playground, along with access improvements to the site. The changes at this site has meant that many from the local community are spending more time in the area and feeling more connected to the natural surroundings. By increasing the time visitors spent in the AONB, the adjoining local businesses have also seen a higher visitor spend. There are around 16,000 hectares of peatland in the Brecon Beacons National Park, and work done on the Resilient Peatlands Restoration Project is making a positive difference to protecting this important ecosystem and vital aspect of the landscape. Within waterfall country, the Four Falls area of the National Park is a huge draw to visitors and the local communities alike. But this honeypot site has seen serious habitat damage through footfall erosion at ground level. Change had to happen, and through funded studies and green infrastructure material works at various points, it is hoped that the area can become more resilient for visitors to enjoy now and in the future. In the Clwydian Range and Dee Valley AONB, the hillside site of Moel Fama benefited from funding for visitor infrastructure and access improvements. This area saw an increase in visitors, both local and from further afield through the COVID-19 lockdown easings, meaning something had to be done to manage this site for all users to enjoy and prevent any further damage. With the use of locally sourced materials, the parking area has been improved to tie in with the surroundings. After installing additional green infrastructure in the form of wooden curbs and grass-friendly mesh, the verges that had been damaged by roadside parking have been restored and protected. On the boundaries of the Gower AONB, a forward-looking regeneration project has begun in Clyne Valley Country Park, bringing access improvements with bridge installation, pathway restoration, alongside maintenance of heritage structures and cooperative working with community groups. The project is a vital first step in the improvements for the country park. The habitats of local wildlife are further protected through reduction of erosion and biodiversity given a chance to re-establish. By signposting and informing users of the active travel network through the park, including NCN Route 4, in addition to those enjoying the park for its wide range of biodiversity, the project is providing a broader education into the importance of nature within the urban environment. Sustainable Landscapes, Sustainable Places funded several projects in the Llyn AONB. At Machroes Beach, several restorative works have taken place. Using sustainable and recycled materials, the access steps and picnic benches have been replaced. The previously unstable pathway to the beach has been resurfaced, allowing use by all visitors. The slipway for boat launches was resurfaced, along with the provision of a hut for the beach warden. At Morfa Nefyn, the existing toilet has been restored and improved through using renewable energy from solar panels and eco-lighting to enable the toilet to be self-sufficient in power and minimising light pollution. A water fountain has been installed, allowing visitors to refill their bottles, reducing the use of single-use plastics. As the Wales Coast Path passes close by, this is a great resource for walkers. These simple infrastructure improvements benefit visitors and the local communities at two important sites on the AONB. In In the Pembrokeshire Coast National Park, the authority was funded for a pilot land purchase for carbon sequestration. Around 30 acres of coastal land, previously used as organic pasture for grazing, has been purchased and is now under restoration to improve biodiversity and contribute to decarbonisation through carbon sequestration. The scientific research suggests that the ecosystem of grassland and soil can hold between 15 to 20% of carbon produced. This pilot project aims to look at the land management of grassland in comparison to wood and peatland areas. Continuing with decarbonisation, Pembrokeshire Coast National Park Authority also had £1.2 million to develop and install 74 electric vehicle chargers across the national park at key sites to benefit local communities and visitors alike. Using existing car parks and gateway sites into the national park, it's hoped the provision will reduce petrol and diesel vehicle use throughout the park area. At the area of sensitive dunes and shoreline of Morfa Dyffryn National Nature Reserve in Snowdonia National Park, funding has enabled the restoration of access boardwalks to further protect the ecosystems within the reserve. Sustainable materials were also used at Llyn Nantlla and Llyn Cwellyn, where jetties were restored, providing safe access for anglers and visitors to the water. In the tree nursery at Plas Tan y Bwlch, funding for more equipment and facilities have also allowed the nursery to expand, doubling the capacity to propagate and nurture trees grown from local seeds, ensuring the continued provision of trees for the area. In the Wye Valley AONB, a series of green infrastructure and natural flood management works have been funded. Cledon Falls, an old picturesque movement site, received newly installed stone steps and a new handrail forged by a local blacksmith. The unmaintained road of Chapel Hill Lane has benefited from local materials being used as green infrastructure to create natural flood management along its length. In previous years, high rainfall has drawn down debris to the engineered culvert at the bottom and causing blockages that contributed to localised flooding in Tynton. As the southern section of the Wye Valley Walk passes through Piercefield Park, visitors will use newly installed handrails along with restored stone steps made from local materials as they enjoy the views and experience that contributed to the popularity of the picturesque movement in the area in the 18th century.